my grandchildren. They haven't got a hope in hell for what's going on.
We're being ethnicised in real time. We have a web of governmental NGOs, a whole system against the Irish people. We're an ethnic people who families and ancestors are in this land. We're vested in the whole culture and the structure of this society. It's being robbed and taken from us by force.
Young men coming in all the one age. There's something wrong, something is happening, and I don't like it.
The 26th of April, tens of thousands of people gathered in Dublin to protest the Irish government. Here's what the Irish people had to say.
I fear for the future of the country, our children, especially our daughters. There's a lot of violence in society. We have Irish people on the streets with no homes, and they're giving opportunities to people who are not Irish. They're giving them a lot of financial support and many other things. And I totally disagree with it.
So what were people misrepresenting about? I never said that I was anti-immigration. I never aligned myself with Conor McGregor and said that I agreed with everything he said or anything even close to that. In fact, I said the opposite. What I said is that the towns and the cities are becoming much less safe. And I believe that to be true.
It's not about skin colour, like people want to make you believe it is, to paint you in a certain narrative and a certain light. It's not about that at all. I have friends from all different walks of life. It's not about that.
It doesn't make a difference, does it?
No.
Concerned husband, concerned father, and a concerned family man. I'm just genuinely worried for my country.
We have been treated as second-class citizens for too long, and we're not putting up with it anymore. I'm here for my kids and my sons, right? For their future.
I don't like where the country is going because it doesn't resemble the country that I grew up in.
I'm here to support the martyrs, to free our country from the tyranny.
People are waking up in this country, and it's a packet of elites. It's not right or left or centre. It's us against the elites in this country.
It's a globalist agenda being pushed. It's not just Ireland that's getting it. It's going across the West. And we all know that. We all, there's people pushing it, and we're just not having it.
Why are you here today?
I'm here because a lot of people in this country are frustrated about illegal immigration and the fact that our people who are homeless aren't being treated the same way. It's not about racism and it's not about sectarianism, because you're getting both sides of the community coming here together to voice their concerns. Our politicians won't listen to us. There's people from down south here, there's people from Catholic communities, Protestant communities. These people on the left are actually paid.
Are paid, you said?
Yes.
Interesting.
They are paid, yes. Because if you look, they're NIPSA, all stuff like that, they're government agents that are paid.
How do you know them? Green hats?
No, you'll know them because see, whenever there's like Palestine protests, you're getting council officials that are acting as stewards and stuff like that. Those NIPSA people are actually getting paid because they're on a day off. And see, the media, that's biased as well, because I've watched a lot of them. There was actually one not too long ago, and he's a solicitor. A solicitor should be unbiased actually, and he was only videoing one side, the right wing as they call it. We're only right, we're not right wing.
Right out.
You know what I mean?
Right out. All right, lovely talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Who do you stand for? What's your...
I am no I was just giving posters here, so I'm just whatever. I don't support any political party or anything. I'm just a normal mummy, just speaking up.
Good stuff.
Just a mummy. Just a mummy.
It's been lovely talking.
Thank you very much. You too.
So do you think something good will come out of this day?
Well, if the politicians listen to the people,
and will they?
No, because they want to suppress our views on the simple fact that they want to claim this is racism.
And you believe they're paid today?
I know that they're paid, yes.
Well, and what percentage would you think?
I'd say 50-50. The other 50% are just brainwashed.
Would Palestinians have the right to return to Gaza if they left while the rebuilding was happening?
It would be my hope that we could do something really nice, really good, where they wouldn't want to return. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too.
We have, at long last, arrived to the period where, after a year of gaslighting us and telling us that wasn't happening, like everyone just smearing us in the media, calling everybody anti-Semitic who noticed that an ethnic cleansing was taking place, we're just now getting to the point which is an ethnic cleansing is going to take place. We're going to just move millions of bodies. And now we're going to try to emotionally engineer the public to think that it's acceptable by saying, well, there's nothing left. Our bombs bombed it all. Why would they want to go back there? There's nothing left. And so one of the other favored lies about me in the media is that I agree with everything Trump says and he does. And I could not disagree more with this. I could not have been more vocal in my lack of support for any person who, whether left or right, who claims to be a good and a compassionate person who is okay with what is happening and what they are saying they're going to do, all statements which are on record before October 7th even happened. And in terms of Trump talking about the real estate of the property, saying they have to go, and Jared Kushner was on tape speaking about how much worth the property could be.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. I mean, Gaza's waterfront property. It could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up. It's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there, but I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up.
And now they're saying that the UK should take these people. And this just puts us on that circle. You know, it really is just, it's loony. You have the people in the UK and other countries going, I don't recognize my country. Why don't I recognize my country? Why is this country becoming majority Muslim population? And they don't want to connect the dots and say, well, you know, which country is not becoming majority population, just seems to be expanding its borders all the time? Israel. And we keep fighting their wars or funding their wars. We haven't stopped doing that. So as they become more ethnocentric, as they keep getting more land, as they keep having strict rules about who is allowed to commute there, our countries are looking very different.
Let's talk about two-way trade. So Ireland and America have a very good relationship. It's a historic relationship that will continue to develop and endure into the future. And he kept banging on about Ryanair buying Boeing jets and Trump sitting there. He talked about that two-way trade. Trump also, it's worth noting, talked about how he believed that Ireland was taking advantage of America, especially in the pharmaceutical sector, and that it would be time to rectify that right now. So don't get too excited too quick.
Ireland is in the midst of a housing crisis now, and I know you have a lot of experience as a businessman. How can the state build tens of thousands of houses?
You know why they have a housing crisis? Because they're doing so well. They can't produce houses fast enough. That's a good problem, not a bad problem.
That's a pretty good answer, President.
No, it's true.
Will you put more tariffs on the EU?
Everybody should have that problem. That's okay. They're going to do. I know this gentleman. He'll get it solved. Brian? Brian?
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
First, we'll congratulate you on your lower inflation core rates.
Thank you.
First gentleman here, if I can see him real quickly. Welcome, United States. You look great.
Thank you.
Nice suit.
Now you feel good.
President Trump ran on MAGA, Make America Great Again. If you could run on MEGA, Make Ireland Great Again, what would your number one issue be for people in Ireland right now to make your country stronger? And then I've got a two-part question to that as well.
Yeah. The number one issue in Ireland is housing, to be honest, and I think it was correctly pointed out. We've got to build more houses. We've got to build them faster to give the young people of Ireland an opportunity to afford to buy a house or to afford to rent a house.
And it's a situation where the political elite have a grasp on the power and it is fully removed from the people. And that's it. I'm going to keep going. I'm here with the US administration. I have the backing of Trump, President Trump, and it's about following through, so let's see. I stayed put in Washington at a lot of great meetings, and we're on we go onwards for Ireland, and that's what I'll say.
But there is another aspect of Irish culture which is under attack that rarely gets a look in, and very few people in recent years have been willing to acknowledge or defend it. I am of course talking about religion. Now hold on a sec, before you rush to the comments with pitchforks and torches, let me clarify what I'm saying here. Of course, nobody has to be personally religious. We all live in a free country and you can believe whatever you want. If you aren't religious, that's totally your right. But it's very interesting to me how religion, particularly the Christian religion and Catholicism, has become unbelievably unpopular in modern society. Part of that is obviously because of the terrible scandals that have come to light in recent years. The sex abuse, the subsequent cover-ups, and so on. We all know about the sick filth that went on, the corruption and the absolute evil that was carried out by some members of the church hierarchy, and clearly those things were despicable. There is truly a special place in hell waiting for those responsible, and they should be prosecuted to the maximum extent of the law. You'll hear absolutely no apologism from me.
But there's something you guys need to know.
Donald Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago, according to White House official. There it is. That's his blog. He said, President Donald Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago and joined Chabad.
Here's why that matters.
Check out this rabbi's prayer at one of Trump's rallies.
May we move forward together, seeking to build a future that reflects the will of God and his values based on the 7 Noahide laws that will unite us all together. Amen.
If you break one of the Noahide laws, it's punishable by capital punishment. Want to know the first law? Idolatry. You know what they consider idolatry to be? Acknowledging Jesus.
Thrilled to see that it appears that the people are awakening at last, and hopefully they'll awaken to all the ills and all the lies and mendacity that has occurred in the last 5 years.
So would you say that the English people here in the United Kingdom are being replaced by the migrants?
Not just English people. Every one of our countries, we're being replaced. The whole of Europe, like people talk about great replacement, yeah? And well, like we were saying, they're replacing us. There's a 177-page document from the United Nations on their plan to do this. This is planned, yeah? It's exactly planned.
Why would they want to replace societies and bring in whole different societies into these countries?
But the bit that I find curious is, in our understandable haste to condemn all of those abominable crimes and discard Christianity, we never stop to think about what we might be discarding with it. To make a comparison, most people agree that the Irish government is a disgrace, from the cervical smear test scandal to their awful handling of the nursing homes and so on. The Irish state has a lot to answer for. But nobody looking at the appalling state of the current government would say, our politicians are all crooks and traitors, therefore I'm done with the Irish nation. Most people still love their country and acknowledge that Ireland is a wonderful place with lots of good to offer the world. Just because politicians are doing terrible things, that doesn't make you any less proud to be Irish. In fact, we say that the politicians who are ruling our country are usurping a great nation for their own gain.
Immigration isn't the only issue. The hospitals, the schools, the abuse of children, the homelessness of Irish people, there's some of that very close to me. Family living abroad, it's heartbreaking not to be able to see family members because they can't live in Dublin.
Understand what's coming down the line. It's the enslavement of this country. The mass importation of all the foreigners is to break up the national cohesion. And so therefore introducing such things as digital currency and digital ID and all of that is there to bring us all down.
Do you think the presidents of all these countries are in on this together? And
I don't think they are. We know they are. We know they are. There's an agenda. If you look at the European Union, they are trying to force Viktor Orban. They're fining him money for refusing to flood his country with migrants. Yeah, they're telling countries they took the power. Who's in control of Ireland? It's not the Irish. Yeah, it's the European Union. And all of these countries, if you look at the Barcelona Declaration, agreements were made 30, 40 years ago for the joining of Africa and Europe. Arabia. That's what they're doing. That's what they do. They want war. They want the war in Ukraine. They don't care that 500,000 Ukrainian men have been killed. They do not care. Yeah, it's money, it's profit. Okay.
Censor everything, and if you wanna say something, they always label you far right or this kind of bullshit.
The government just gaslighting us. That's really what it is. Trying to tell us that we're wrong or we're racist and we're far right and all the rest, and it's not true.
They get free healthcare. They get free phones. They get free everything.
It's not a mistake. None of this is a mistake. None of it. Your borders didn't open at the same time of our borders. Every border in Europe opened at the same time. 8 million people come through yours. They talk about them. Literally, they took out Gaddafi. They opened up the floodgates to Europe by taking him out. And the migrants literally go 20 metres off the coast of Libya and they get picked up by NGOs, which are funded by the German government, and then they get brought into Europe. And as they're brought into Europe, they come into our communities. They break down our communities. We're weakened, so and part of it is we're all looking and arguing with each other whilst they're eroding our rights and our freedoms, all of our rights and freedoms. So it lowers the wage, which they like as well. But so yeah.
Ireland is great, but the opportunists in charge are ruining it. So why then, when there is corruption in the church, do we immediately throw out something that was so precious to our ancestors, and that his Christian faith played a huge part of his life and in motivating him to save Ireland from the British Empire?
Is Irish stance today united on all fronts in terms of all those people who
have Ireland at heart.